You're watching CBC News Today. I'm Suhana Marchand. We've heard a lot about what the global financial turmoil is doing to business and what it could do to most of us in the near future. But some people are thinking longer term. Jane Lee started studying finance at the University of British Columbia with the aim of becoming an investment banker. She joins me from Vancouver. And Karim Hemani is doing an MBA at Queen's University. He is in Kingston, Ontario. Welcome to you both. Jane, I'm going to begin with you. You're graduating in the spring. How has this job market changed, let's say even from a year ago?
Well, it's been pretty difficult going through recruiting right now because, especially for people in Vancouver, we're gunning for the same positions in Toronto with people in Toronto, and especially with the job positions cut down at least 50%. It's been pretty tough.
So do you still feel optimism, that you'll be able to find your dream job in your field when you graduate?
Well, there's still 6 months left until we graduate, so I'm still optimistic about that. Hopefully the market will turn around a bit. But for now, too, I know that some banks are still hiring and there are more positions available that isn't necessarily in investment banking, but in corporate finance that I'm branching out to, and as well as other students, too. Okay,
so that's called Plan B, right? I want to talk to Karim as well. Karim, you're finishing your MBA at Queen's. Congratulations on that. Normally, I would think you'd have your pick of companies to work for. Have you noticed a change when it comes to recruitment on campus?
I think we might have noticed a shift in focus of some of the people in the MBA program, and I think it's probably more of an organic shift, just given the job market. However, I think overall we're seeing fairly consistent numbers in the number of corporations that are currently recruiting from Queen's. I have heard from our Business Career Center that the overall number of positions that might be available in Canada at each of those companies has gone down. However, we at Queen's haven't yet felt the impacts of that.
It's going to be a more competitive market then. Obviously, if there are fewer of those jobs out there, there are still the same number of students graduating with the same hopes and dreams that you have. It means more competition, right?
Absolutely.
What does that mean for you personally?
Well, I think employers are taking more of a long-term view, especially with MBA graduates. They're not looking to hire analysts from people who graduate in MBA programs. They're looking for leaders, and the type of training that we take is leadership-type training. And I think in a depressed market, that's a perfect time to have people with a general manager kind of skill set rather than a hyper-focused skill set to try to turn things around. And so, there still are people in my class that are looking strictly towards finance, and there are probably fewer, and because there are fewer, they'll probably all find jobs. And then there's the others who are kind of taking more of a shift towards consulting, the types of roles that you might go into in order to leverage a down market and really help to turn things around.
Okay, so looking at different options. Jane, I was reading something about you're with the UBC Finance Club. Are you the president of that club?
Yes.
Yeah, good for you. And you invited 100 or so financial firms to a career night, kind of a recruitment night for students at UBC. How did that go?
Well, first of all, I just have to give a shout out to the two execs, Tina and Armin, who did organize.
Hey, you go for it.
And anyway, so we invited about 100 companies in finance and different facets of finance, so ranging from investment banks to the big six banks, private asset management companies, etc. And it was funny because when we were inviting the companies, that was when the market fell the most. So we had a mixed feeling from the companies that we invited. So some companies said, well, you know what, we're not hiring right now. We don't even want to show up. Some said, we don't want to be cynical to the university hopefuls over there. So all in all, we had about 20 come out of 100 to be invited. So it was kind of nerve-wracking at first because we didn't think that we would have enough companies to pull off the event. But now I guess 20% probability wasn't that bad.
What does that do for you? What does that say to you?
Well, it is kind of tough and difficult, but most of the students and the fellow friends that I've talked to, they're pretty optimistic still. And especially because it's not the end of the world if they don't get into banking right away, so they can go into accounting first or consulting first, like Karim said, and then branch off from there after a few years. It's not as bad, but it is still pretty worrisome, I guess.
Right. Karim, I just want to go back to you and ask about the mood on campus. You know, perhaps you were hoping as an MBA grad to get better pay, better benefits as well. Do you find that your colleagues are downgrading those expectations?
I think that's an interesting one. I think if there was an area, I think that might be the area that we might be a little bit more concerned about. But again, salary and compensation is usually more of a short-term type of a concern. You know, as long as we're getting into the types of roles and industries that we're interested in, I think you know, worrying about salary too much is taking a short-term view, and you know, rather than just getting yourselves into those industries, taking the long-term view, taking whatever we can really get and compete at right now, and understanding that really the ripples of the economy and the market historically, and I'm optimistic in the future, will level out and smooth out. And we'll probably be back up to our salary expectations and bonus levels that we've seen in the past, and the growth rates we've seen in the past.
I guess what you're also doing, Karim, is you're jockeying for those positions with those who have been laid off from Wall Street and Bay Street, who have experience already rather than, you know, school experience. They have experience in those offices. Do you find that that's you know, a critical point as well?
Sure, and that's true as well. I guess another way to look at the glass half full is I think a lot of those people who have enjoyed the success and growth of the market in the last decade are now probably seeing this as an opportunity for themselves to go back and do their MBA. So, you know, if the economy does turn around in the next short while, there may be some openings for people who have gone to do their full-time MBA. Also, those people going into their MBAs probably does raise the admission standards as well. I mean, when you have more people, you know, bidding for the same number of admissions positions, you kind of up the standard kind of organically again. And so I think what that does for the MBA designation and the MBA programs is it actually helps them out a lot and raises the expectation of people coming out.
Good answer. Jane, I just want to have one final question with you, and that is, are you getting advice from professors that rather than wait for multiple offers, which I'm sure you know you would have from investment houses and investment banks in the past, take the early one? If one comes along, take it?
Professors and mentors that I've talked to actually, you know, they tell me that it is tough to get into banking right away, but they tell me, you know, still go for whatever you want, do what you want. So I am still searching, and hopefully there will be one dream job, as cliche as that sounds, when graduation rolls around.
Hey, I think it's not a cliche. I'm doing it. This was always my dream job. I wish the same for you. Thank you both so much, Jane and Karim. Good to talk to you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. You too.